Well, welcome to Watch Me Work. I am working today on a project for a customer of setting up their CRM or customer relations management software. And right now what you're looking at hopefully is a screen of the CRM account. It is a free account and we had to have an email address and that's about it to get started. So we are going to do today setting this up by importing contacts. And we just did the process of that, so I skipped ahead a little bit before I started the recording of the screen. Apologize for that. But basically, we'll be repeating importing contacts and adding contacts as a regular thing on the Watch Me Work anyhow. So today, let's see, we're looking at Kyda Technologies. It is a company that is break fix for computers and software and cybersecurity solutions, HIPAA compliance software, and NIST certification assistance or auditing. So anyways, enough about Kyda Technologies. Let's get to the Watch Me Work. Here's their website. I have an email access for them that is set up that I use as the I use it as the way to set things up and communicate without having to bother the customer. So when I'm setting up accounts or I'm doing anything that requires verification back to an email account, everything ties to this secondary email account that I use on the behalf of the customer. And it's a domain email account in this case, so it's Outlook, and my username is quite generic, or my email account is member services type account. So I'll show you what that looks like. I create a signature line, I create the email account, and then this is the account I use on behalf of the customer, as I said. So I use, here's mine right here, memberserve@kydatech.net. So why that's important right now, in anything I do with a customer, I have to have some separate place so that I'm not having to wait for their response when things are being confirmed or tested or set up. So here we have Agile CRM. We set this up today or yesterday by going to agile.com. Might be CRM, sorry, agilecrm.com. And with Watch Me Work Live, this is unedited, so it is also without an outline. So it might be a little bit sometimes hard to follow, but hopefully there's enough value in between everything that you take away some value from watching me work. Okay, so in this case, I went to Agile CRM. Let's log out. And to get started, all I had to have was a full name and an email address, and it let me create an account. The login information will be tied to whatever domain we use. So in this case, they created Kyda Tech Agile. Let's see what we get. I think it's kydatech.agile. So when I go here, it'll ask me to log in. And I have to type my password in here, so hold on a second, I have to get that. So it was a quick menu. Go to agilecrm.com, you create the account, and then once you do that, now I'm in the account, and there's some basic setup that I had to do in very, very minimal to get going. I had to start importing contacts, and I'm going to create an email template. So here's where I went to add the email addresses or the contacts of people I want to market to or communicate with. They require a first name, and the list I've received from the customer didn't have that. So just to get started for now, it's not the most ideal, but I need to have a fast start here. We went to import over here under contacts, and we imported from here up to 10,000 contacts. And this has to be a CSV file. So I literally pulled this file, the import file, from a QuickBooks solution, but you can get it from your email contacts. You can get it from anywhere. It has to be in a CSV type format, or other formats, which you could see those. Salesforce has an interface. And then these other formats here, Office 365, Google, et cetera, et cetera. We could have imported directly from QuickBooks, but there are reasons I didn't with this customer account. We're working on some cleanup of email addresses over there and quality issues on that data. So we are taking a very scaled back approach and loading up about 600 customer or contacts, I should say, and not doing any target marketing. We're just generically setting up an email campaign with a CRM solution. And this is a little bit more progressive than just using a silo type system or a standalone email marketing solution. We are going to use an email marketing solution in conjunction with the CRM to get started for a couple reasons. And I'm going to use today's example. So I just imported, I used the upload and I imported about 600 customer or contacts. And right here at the top of Agile, there's 3 modules. You have the sales, marketing, and service modules. Sales is where your contacts are. Marketing is where your campaigns and content and analytics are. And service is where if you want to let the customer log tickets or requests, you can use that. I also have used it for internal tracking of work by creating a service ticket for any kind of task that needs to be done. I like it because it's a very sophisticated reporting capability, and it also has assignments and due date capability as well. But we're going to stick to this. I'm working today to get this CRM solution at a very minimal implementation going. So over here we have contacts. I went under sales and I click on the people icon over here, and this lists all the contacts that have been loaded. There's 593 total, which I would have expected somewhere around there. I think I'm missing 13 contacts, but we're going to go ahead and use these to get started. When I imported them, I applied a tag. A tag is a way to uniquely identify a group of contacts, and that's a generic concept that pretty much applies in many solutions for contact management or anything where you're working with a lot of marketing and contacts. So we have created one called Start QB1. All that does is tell me it's the starting list. I'm not doing any targeting yet, like I said. So we have valid email addresses. In this particular case, the customer wants me to send out an email campaign starting this week for Cyber Security Awareness Month. And we are setting those up. So we have all the contacts here. And we have to go into marketing to set up an email template. I started to mess with this earlier. I did not get to complete it. I have some email marketing content over in another mail package that we were testing with for this customer in the last month or so, and we are moving it over from there. So if you come over here, I'm in MailChimp right here, if you can check this out with me. We had a test campaign that we ran for this customer, and it was where we offered a free cyber planning guide. And so let me find that email. This one here, I think. Oh, that's the landing page, sorry. Here, I'll go to completed campaign. Okay, so this is a very high level offer. It is giving a free cyber plan away if they fill a form out. So we've brought this email over already. I could have just taken a screen capture of this and brought it over as an image, but I chose to copy and paste content and bring it to Agile. So in the template system for Agile, I have the same email already started over here. If I click on this, this is the one I want to edit. I'm going to go into it. And the same email here. This is letting me view it in Agile as mobile format, tablet, and computer. So most of the time I try to make the emails compatible from a view perspective, but not always. The same content will apply, it just won't be as pretty if you go from screen to screen if you don't format your content for all 3. So it is not responsive design as far as you have to make sure that you're setting this up so that it previews properly. It doesn't change on demand. The formatting needs to be set up on your part. All right, so we have copy and pasted everything over here. We created a template. I also added in the Facebook connection here and the LinkedIn here, and I've turned off all the other ones because we're not ready to include those yet. So this email is pretty much good to go. It doesn't have Todd's picture in here, but it does have Kyda. I could add in here pretty simply. If I wanted to, I could add Todd's information in here. And I'll show you how that would look. We will just do, this one might work. So I'm picking the format I want to include as a content block. See, these are all content blocks. One here, one here, one here. And you edit them individually just like you would add them individually. So I'm going to add, I think I said this one, and I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to go in here. Change this picture to be Todd's picture. Probably make it a little bit smaller than that. And I would probably want this to go to his Facebook. His website's a little in the process of being evaluated for updates, so I'm going to go to his Facebook. I don't know why it's taking that though. So I'm just putting in alt text. That will display when they hover over the picture, and then it'll be a clickable link to the Facebook. We're going to save and close it. The picture right now, when I click on the picture, there's a customized feature that lets you change the padding. That's the space between up and above it, below it. They don't have right and left padding options here. I'd really like to get rid of this extra picture. Don't know if I'll be able to, but we're going to try. I'm just going to click delete, and it probably won't let me. So I more or less am going to have it be blank. Background color is white. There we go. Get rid of that. Save and close. Come in here. I'm going to get rid of this button here. Delete it. Oh, shoot. I didn't want to do that. That'll work. Save and close. So I do want to change this content to be Todd's information. I'm going to go grab a signature line of his. See if I have one handy from him. These are from his phone, it looks like. Here's one right here. I should have probably done it on the right, so we're going to stop and fix that. We're going to do one in a picture like this. I have this problem with these. So I know when you use different tool sets, let me save this. There's things that you discover are bugs or flaws or inefficiencies, inadequacies, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to have all this on here. And one that I've noticed sometimes with these user-friendly little editing HTML editor tool sets is that a file name, for some reason, of images. So here I'll save and close. This is a text block with a picture. Well, this picture, once I placed it, once I put a picture in, I I had taken Todd's picture, and it worked fine the first time, right? Well, now it's not working. So I use what happens is somehow the name of that file gets registered, and if I remove it, it doesn't let me reuse it in the same block. It's the weirdest thing, I know, but it is a quirk that's not just limited to Agile CRM. Oh, I need to rename this. So I end up having to rename the file. It's not the best way to handle this, but we're going to do it this way. Once you rename it, it then has no problem finding the picture and plopping it in there. This is limited here. It doesn't let me look for pictures that are on that are in the Agile system. It only lets me upload new ones, so that's a little bit of a challenge. But okay, so there we go. And just I'm doing this watch me work not so much as an educational formal tutorial, but just as one, if someone's curious and wants to watch somebody doing work. This takes time to do this kind of work, even if you're skilled and have experience. So I'm sure I'm sure that this project, setting up his CRM in one email and putting his contacts in, will probably be all day today that I work on it. Now, in this case, I'm doing the work because I wanted to do a watch me work. It is not what I would normally be spending every day on. This is definitely the level of work this should be is someone who is doing social media or content development or account work. And I chose today not to pass this one along, but rather take the opportunity. First of all, I get to give some insight. A lot of times people working in my company on these tech, like an intern or a social media content developer or a graphics person, when they're working in these tool sets, they don't have the many years of experience I have in different solutions. And so it does take them a lot more time, and they don't know all the quirks. So when that picture wasn't showing up, often I'll get a phone call, in this case here with that picture just now. If I were to try and get rid of this, delete this, and pick Todd again, it wouldn't work. We'd have to rename it. Here, I'll go ahead and illustrate it. But these are the quirks that definitely don't get handled quickly when it's an inexperienced person who hasn't dealt with a lot of the tools that are required in the social media or digital marketing, I should say, and graphics area. Anyways, my point is, if I click that, it's going to come up blank. Oh, no, this time it chose to work. Yahoo. Prove me wrong. Okay, so I normally would not be spending most of my days doing this work, but today I get to do it as a treat. Firsthand doing the work for Todd. It's a little redundant because we already started this project in another technology, but I've been using CRMs for a while, and the customer's on board with now moving into one. So fortunate we are getting that cooperation, because it'll help things be a lot more efficient with marketing when you use a CRM. Whether you use Salesforce, Agile, HubSpot, any kind of CRM tool, you will get so much scalability and faster growth. Okay, so right now where I'm at is I have the content set up. Todd's in here. I'm going to make this bold a little bit. And we'll just leave it like that for now. And we'll save this. So the other thing I like to do, and this is an implementation preference, whoever I'm sending this to, it's available in a campaign so that it could automatically go out to people who are put into a campaign. But I can also use a tag trigger, which means I could create a tag on somebody, add a tag to the person, and it would automatically send that message once I create an automation. So I'm going to do that today. And why I brought that up is when I create my email, if it's taggable, I like to use the template name I like to have the tag name in there. It's a little complicated, but if you have experience in CRM and you're watching this, or if you have experience with using marketing contacts in bulk and have I hope you get the value and see that this implementation is a good one too for naming conventions. All right, I'm going to pick a tag. I'm going to go over to, you can go into here under settings, I believe, and set tags up, or you could just go create a tag on any contact and it would automatically add it. tags. So we're going to create one, add a tag. Doesn't have any description or anything like that, capability like a note field for it. It's just the tag. So I'm going to create one that's called Cyber CYB free. Cyber plan, CYB plan free. Cyber plan offer. CYB. Okay, so I have to know the name of this tag. Oops, I'm going to go back one. Edit. Copy that. Okay, so again, I'm going into my email templates now, and I had already created this one. We're going to go into it and change the name to be CYB plan offer. Save it. We're going to send a test, but I want to make sure I set up an automation first. Okay, so we have an email template created here. That's the first email that's going to go out, or an email that can go out at any time to somebody who we'd like to offer a free cyber plan guide to. So there's the letter, right? And before I hop out of here, I'll show you when they click on this. We'll do a view here. When they click on that to get their cyber plan guide, it takes them to, here, we got to do it this way. It takes them to this here, and this is a MailChimp form, but it doesn't matter what form, if it's in CRM or somewhere else. If it's a data capture form, you basically put the link in, and this is what gets displayed when they go to that website or that form, landing page form. So I have, this is going to be offered to about 500 people today, or in the short time here. They click on this and it would take them to this, and when they fill this out, it will actually load the contact into not the CRM right now, but over into MailChimp onto a list where I can then have another message that goes out that says we've received your request, etc. And there's reasons why I'm doing a split implementation right now. Much of it is we're porting over from MailChimp and other technologies like Outlook, where the customer's contact management, and QuickBooks. We're beginning to use a CRM tool, so it means we're not going to have everything running off of the CRM as part of a stage or phased implementation. So phase one, we're only going to have contacts loaded and emails going out on triggers. So I have a targeted market of 500 people. Not very targeted, but a list of 500 people we're going to start with. I'll be sending out this offer and a couple other emails, and they will have the option to enter in the request, which will then go to another solution in order for after the remarketing to occur or closing of the deal. But the contacts will start today from the solution with some email outbounds. Okay, so this email here is set up, and it's going to offer the clickable to this. They fill this out, and then I'm not going to go any further than that for now. So how will they get this email? They will get it because we will set up an automation under sales. In the sales module, oh, I gotta save my changes. Sorry guys. Save, and I will go over to the sales, and underneath we go into automations. And in automation, it is going to ask me, when do I want something automated? What's the trigger? I want, when we add a tag to a contact, I want that letter to go. First of all, I need to make sure, did I rename the letter? I think so. Let's go back to the marketing templates. Here's the email that goes out. Yep, I renamed it so that the tag is in the name of the email template. And then I'm going to go back to automation. And when a tag is added is the trigger. It's going to say, okay, what's my automation name? I know I put it over here. Hold on. My automation name is going to have the trigger name in the front. So it's a cyber plan offer email. That when this tag is added, this tag here, I want something to happen. What do I want to have happen? I want an email to be sent. What email do I want to be sent? I want this to be from Todd Brady, your cyber planner, which is his new branding. I want to use a template that we created already, and it'll be easy for me to find it because it'll have the same tag. So now I've got that there. It's going to bring up that template, and I could customize it if I want. So I'm going to save this. It's good to go. And then I'm going to save this. Oh, we need a subject. So the subject will be your free cyber plan. Get a free cyber planning guide. It's customized. Save it. Save that. I'm going to make sure that template took. So there's a template that was selected. It's still there. We're going to click save. The other thing is you want to put tracking on. Yes, we want to track clicks. And we want to be notified. So now we have to connect the start to what the action we want to have happen. So anytime I apply a tag like that, CYB plan offer, to a contact, or anytime a contact ends up getting that tag, they will get this email. I could do a lot more from here, but I won't. The automation today is very simplex. So that's that. So we're actually going to test everything now. We're going to go to a contact. Again, we have contact records. Well, where'd the contacts all go? There was 500 a minute ago. All right, let's see. Let's log out and log back in. That was odd. These are the hiccups that, without experience, set back people sometimes weeks or months. They sit here and trying to figure it out, and sometimes the most simplest thing to do is log off and log on again and see if it's there. But having experience in the industry, I know not only is logging off and logging on a good thing, kind of like shutting your computer off and on when you have a problem, but also sometimes the content takes time to syndicate or be available, or whatever changes you're making in any solution. Sometimes you need to step away instead of trying to figure out why it's not there when you publish something, or when, anyways, essentially it comes from experience, these things, obviously. And we try to pass that experience on as much as we can to people working for us and with us, but it sometimes is not always passed on until they get the experience. Kind of like wanting your kids to take from your knowledge and wisdom if you have kids, but knowing sometimes they just have to learn on their own. Okay, so we have contacts again. I don't know why they didn't show up, but they didn't. And we also have an email template that we've set up. I'm going to show you the template. It has, this template is here. I could manually issue it to people with a click and send to, but I don't have to if I have an automation. The automation is that we set up that trigger that says when you add a tag to any contact. Oops, I have to go in sales. Sorry, guys. Here's the automation one more time. When a tag is added, send an email. So we're going to go to a contact and we're going to test this out. I'm going to search for a contact. I can turn search just to contacts for Stephanie. I'm probably not even in here. So we're going to add me in. We're going to do add contact manually, which I want to show anyways. Here I am. weren't going to add companies in, but we're going to do it today. Put my cell phone. And the tag we're going to load in is this tag. Now when I add it, I'm expecting this contact is going to get added and an email is going to go out. There's the tag right there. So the automation that we set up says anytime a contact gets this tag applied, send an email. So we have to wait a few minutes here. We don't want that little note. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So I'm going to pause this right now because it's already 30 minutes. So hold on.